What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Zaynomics Gaming. Today I have a bunch of news to go over, as well as the brand new season. It will be called Season of the Lost, and Marasov is returning to us. I can't wait to see how the story plays out, especially since we haven't really dealt with Mara since Forsaken back in 2018. It's been almost 3 years now. Well, actually pretty close to 3 years already. So I can't wait to see what happens within next season. Also, we have some buffs and some nerfs that I want to talk about, as well as I want to talk about the next weapon that I believe to be the best weapon in the game. It is an exotic. Now, at this point, first and foremost, I want to talk about the new season, Season of the Lost. It comes out August 24th. That's when it starts. If you have the premium pass, you will get it for free. If you do not, you will have to pay, I believe it's $10, but don't sweat it. If you do have to pay for it, it's not that bad. I recommend always buying the expansion when it comes out. That way, when these new seasons begin, you always are able to access the brand new content. Now, Season of the Lost. Osiris seems very sus right now. He is very suspicious. I believe somebody is going to die. I don't know if it's going to be in this season or it has to be within the next expansion. Somebody is going to die. Bungie needs to make that next big move where, you know, one of our beloved characters passes on. That's what keeps the story flowing. Everybody cannot survive, in my opinion. And with Osiris, it almost seems like he has been taken control over by Savathun at this point. There's something wrong with him. And I believe he will be the next character to go following Cade's footsteps. Now, it's been 3 years since Cade has passed. So it's almost like it's time for something to happen. Something drastic in the storyline has to happen. And with the new expansion, I believe for Bungie to keep players initiated and very involved in this game mentally and physically as well, sitting here spending hours grinding, they need to come out with something very dramatic and engaging. Now, I know this isn't the Forsaken, and this is a different time period as well as far as for Destiny 2 and Bungie and the likes of that, but when Forsaken first released, everybody was so caught up in Cade passing and how much stuff had actually happened inside of the Destiny universe, and that really excelled Bungie to continue on with this game. Forsaken was a big turning point for Destiny 2. Now, will that happen in the next expansion? I don't know, but it worked for them in the past, and it could work for them now. One of the characters passing on, it's just like all your favorite shows that you may watch. Sometimes people just don't make it, and that's the thing. These are guardians, you know, stuff like that, but all the good guys can't survive, especially when you're facing the likes of evil. So I believe somebody is going to pass away, whether it be in this season or the next expansion. There's going to be some major turning point inside of the story, and I believe it's going to revolve around death and grief. Especially since we had that Presage mission where it showed it had like a negative sorrow type feeling. It kind of brought me back to the Halo when you had to go up against the infected. I kind of felt the same way. I feel like Bungie is kind of leaning towards more of the darker side of Destiny. Now, that's my thoughts. Now, moving on, I want to talk about AntiCheat. Now, a lot of people have been asking for an AntiCheat inside of Destiny 2 for as long as I can remember. Now, a few days ago, it was actually leaked that an AntiCheat was coming with the partnership of BattleEye. Now, those leaked pages are now locked down and they are no longer accessible. But Bungie has now confirmed the news, so they'll talk more on August 24th, and it should have a soft launch next season. So basically, when you update Destiny 2 through Steam or on console, you will have to agree to BattleEye. Now, BattleEye will automatically be installed within Destiny 2 once it receives that update, so you can no longer cheat. Now, there are ways to work around it. I don't really know how to work around it. There is a way to get around it, but it is very hard, and BattleEye will be one of those third-party programs that are able to catch somebody installing or implementing cheats inside of Destiny 2. Now, as you'll see in the background gameplay, I was actually paired with a cheater in control, you know, quick play 6 versus 6, and I ended up reporting him. I don't tolerate cheating. I couldn't imagine how you get the fun out of just having infinite supers or infinite heavy ammo or just crazy aimbots. The main satisfaction for me is testing new weapons and getting those kills on my own. And not to mention, cheating just ruins the play experience for a lot of other players. Now, this Battle Eye should have a soft launch coming up in a few days during the next season, Season of the Lost, but it won't be fully implemented until at a later date. And I'm just making that assumption. Bungie could go all out and have a straight up launch on August 24th, but they stated that they will have a soft launch. So I'm not sure if that's just to throw people off. Maybe some of the cheaters out there are already trying to get prepared since Battle Eye is actually being installed. And you got to think, it's hard for me to be mad at the cheaters, but at the same time, it is frustrating. There's a lot of players out there that want to go flawless, and they'll just go and create a burn account and get these cheats, and they'll take them flawless. They'll take the other players flawless for money. So there's a lot of money in it. Same thing with Call of Duty and any other competitive game. Now, moving on, I wanted to talk about what I think is the best exotic. And I know I told you guys that I was going to go over the major nerfs and buffs coming up in this season. But real quick, I wanted to talk about what I believe is the best exotic in the game, the exotic weapon. Now, if you watched my video last week, I talked about Ophidian Aspect. I believe that to be one of the best exotics in the game for PvP, and rightfully so. And now, as far as weapon-wise, I want to talk about Telestio. I know a lot of people get very upset over Telestio and Jotun, but there is just something amazing about Telestio. It provides control. It provides no damage fall off. It is just an amazing weapon if you are brand new to this game. If you can lock down Telestio, you will be okay inside of PvP. Now, for the past week, I've been using Ophidian Aspect with my Biting Winds bow and Telestio, and I have been straight upsetting a lot of people. Shout out to Mr. Nice Guy. Me and him kind of had a going back and forth with each other. I really had a lot of fun playing in those matches with him, and if you were listening, GG's. Now, Telestio, like I said, it provides control. You could just shoot it at the ground and the projectiles stay there. So if an enemy runs across, they get hit. It provides quick cleanup. You put damage on the opponent, you could lay down one hand cannon shot, body shot, whatever, you get the kill. That's why I love Telestio. Now, with that being said, we are getting an unstoppable fusion rifle mod. So this weapon, Telestio, will be viable inside of PvE. Now, I'm not saying Telestio is the best PvE exotic. I'm mainly pertaining towards PvP. So if you like PvP and you're trying to get better, go ahead and rock Telestio. Now, there are some upcoming changes inside of the Destiny 2 sandbox starting August 24th. Now, I'm just going to go over the big changes, the major changes. One major change is we will have infinite primary ammo. So a lot of those primary ammo perks will be switched. They'll be changed in some regard or another. So you don't have to worry about primary ammo anymore. Also, Anarchy is getting a 30% nerf against bosses. Now, not champions. They stated that champions are not included. So I don't really recommend running Anarchy anymore. Now, another big change inside of Destiny 2 sandbox is we will be getting legendary stasis weapons, and they will basically have unique perks. Instead of other weapons, they will be the only type of weapon that receives these stasis perks. So that's something to look forward in the next season. Scout rifles and hand cannons are getting a 15% PvE buff against miners. Also, machine guns will get a PvE 20% buff. But here's the catch. Xenophage is actually going to get a nerf, and it will fire at 90 rounds per minute, and it will also do half that damage. I think it's around 15%. So if you were looking at Xenophage as being a top contender next season, it may not be. Thunderlord actually might do better. Now, fusion rifles are in a state of their own. They significantly talk about high impact fusion rifles, especially since they're going to go from 7 bolts to 5 bolts. And the community was really upset about that. So there's going to be a lot of fusion rifle rework. That's why I think Telestio is one of the best exotics as well, because next season it will still have that explosive damage that other fusion rifles just can't compete with. Now, I know a lot of people were like, oh, well, what about Plug 1? Yeah, Plug 1 is great, but it does not compete with Telestio. Telestio is just in a league of its own, and I find it ironic that Bungie has not said anything about Telestio inside of this sandbox update or this TWAB update for this week. So I'm anxious to see how Telestio is going to play out, especially next season. I really can't wait, and we will find out in a couple of days. Now, Bungie also mentions Jotun inside of this TWAB, and they are actually reducing the charge time from 0.8 milliseconds to 0.7 milliseconds, which means it charges a little bit faster, but you get reduced damage. Now, they, just like I said, they haven't said anything about Telestio. Merciless will probably be a top contender inside of PvE. They updated a perk to account for fewer shots per burst. Should build up the charge rate as same amount per burst as before. Reduce the damage penalty for increasing charge rate by 40%. So that's a significant increase. So we will just have to see how this plays out. Also, Bungie states here, certain damage perks only affected impact damage on explosive weapons. We've updated these specific perks to also increase detonation damage. Kill Clip, Rampage, and Adrenaline Junkie. Also, starting next season, Bungie is refreshing the Prophecy Dungeon loot. So it will have all of the Trials of 9 loot inside of the Prophecy Dungeon. So that is welcome. That significantly brings that back up. I haven't played Prophecy Dungeon in forever. And they're also, it looks like they're bringing back Bygones. I know a lot of people said it was a scout rifle, but it says we are adding 3 weapons as post-game rewards for completing Vanguard Strikes, Gambit, and Crucible matches. This definitely looks like Bygones, so look for that in the near future. It also looks like we have Marty's Make, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure. And we also are getting a sidearm from Vanguard. We are also getting a rework of about 8 weapons from Destiny 2 Vanilla. They will feature new perks, so you will see those in the upcoming season. So for your video roundup, I basically told you guys that I believe Telestio is the best exotic inside of the game, especially for PvP. Also, Season of the Lost, we're going to have Marasav again. I believe somebody's going to die. Something bad's going to happen, and I can't wait to see how the story plays out. Also, Anarchy is getting the biggest nerf we have seen. It's been dominant for so long, for about 3 years. So that is your video. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I will see you all Tuesday, August 24th. I will be dedicating that day and going over everything that Bungie talks about, as well as breaking down any trailer videos or anything in regards to the next expansion that releases in January. I hope to see you all there. I love you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Oh, and don't forget to turn in your Vanguard tokens. I almost forgot. Those are being deprecated. Vanguard, Strike, Zavala, they will all get the same implementations that the Crucible and Gambit have as of right now. Now, I will see you all inside of the next video. Peace.